we'll let Coach kick it off with some comments and then take some questions.
All right, appreciate you guys being here. First and foremost, Hall of Fame game this weekend. So, Victor Cruz being inducted. Funny story, he mossed me in high school, which was on a Super Bowl pregame show. I actually got a chance to meet him back when Liam was our OC at Maine. He came by and saw us actually when we played UMass at Fenway, so hopefully either he remembers me from the mossing or then. Good to see him back, and then congratulations to Chaz, men's basketball, Michaela, women's diving, and Deanna for rowing. So that's great. We'll celebrate them and their accomplishments here. Retirement-wise, just want to shout out Coach Canella. 31 years, established a program, has had great success, and we wish him the best. Obviously, moving forward in the next phase of his life, and certainly Coach Reed, who is always the light, always positive. I don't think I've ever met anyone that hasn't liked Coach Reed. So, hope to see him soon. That was great. And then, finally, I want to thank the students and our support. Not only Friday night at the pep rally, Saturday I heard the tailgate was awesome. Their support was great all throughout the game, and we need them. I know we didn't really give them a chance to hang around late in the game, but we'll correct that. And I just want to thank them for their support and same message: be the light, right? Be the light and keep coming back.
A few questions on anything from Temple, and then we can move to Bryant.
Any update on TY and Zorondano?
Yeah, they'll be evaluated this week. I feel pretty good. X-rays both negative, so that's awesome. And then it's just going to be how we plan the week. But I hopefully expect to have them both.
After evaluating the film, obviously Brandon had the 2 turnovers, but beyond those, how do you evaluate his play beyond those plays?
Yeah, I thought, just speaking offensively, after looking at the tape, it was really about the ball. 10-7, we're going down, run the Q run, right? We puked that ball, which was kind of a crazy fumble. He needs to pin it better, but that kind of gave that, that switched it to 14-10. And then, offensively, we got first and goal in the 3. 4 plays to make it 17-14. I was going there the whole time. I told Jake on first down we're going, right? So I didn't want to come away with 3 there and be down again. And also that angle gets a little tricky when it's that tight. And I just thought 4 plays for 3 yards that we were going to have a chance there. A couple things on there, Rocco on the goal line personnel just needs to hang it off tackle a little bit more. Felt like he cut it back a little early. And then ultimately they were a little geeked up on our play on 4th down, so that's a credit to them, their film study. But certainly there as well, we're on the -1. They're going into the wind, right? And it's 14-10, about 8 minutes left in the second quarter. And 2 explosives, and you blink an eye, and it's getting a little bit harder to come back. And then certainly, on the second interception, the first interception on the second drive of the second half, I believe we started on the -8. Like we were driving the ball, and hopefully to cut it to 11, I think at that point. First down, I thought, talking to Jake, he thought maybe he should have ran it there on first down. We had thrown it up until that point, trying to get it back into, times on the clock, all that stuff. But, Brandon's just got to make a better decision. But ultimately, if you watch most of it, I'm pleased with him. He made some big time throws. His connection with Gibby, Gibby had 12 catches for 132 yards. The guy's a weapon for us. So their connection, and I thought he really progressed on some of his throws as well, made some big time throws. So I'm excited for him to take the next step, learn from that, keep moving forward. But I thought overall offensively, I thought we were really close to staying on the track that we were on, kind of that first quarter, second quarter. And then, like I always say, I know you guys probably get sick of me saying it, you turn it over and they don't. There it is, because that's 81% win, +2 for Temple, right off the bat.
Defensively, was there any positives that you take from that?
I think their effort and their care level, I think their sideline demeanor was pretty good, but we did not play well. Lack of communication at some points. It's pretty easy to find guys when we cut them loose. But credit to their staff, did a great job motioning, doing a lot of those things that is difficult to start. But yeah, we did not play well. I'm really proud of the guys for how they were yesterday. saw a bunch of them this morning in. Listen, we didn't play well, and here we go. It's life. We got to show up and come back. But there were some positives. Like I thought T.J. McGee and Malcolm Green. I know Malcolm gave up the touchdown. That's an eye violation. He's just in man cover, took him back at the quarterback. But I thought those two guys on the outside played pretty well. I thought the D-line for the most part, pretty good. Sean Bryant moving over to E was really good for us. I think that gives us another weapon there with obviously Josh being out. But we're going to take ownership for it. It's not acceptable, but I know Coach Kite will have those guys ready to go.
What did you learn about being a head coach again? Because it's been a while since you had been there.
Yeah, I think just I thought my role in the game now is to kind of keep track of everything, really stay in the moment of what's next. I was proud of the communication on the headsets, especially with clock management, which really didn't come up too much. Decision making, I thought we were on the same page, so I was good with that. And then ultimately, being the head coach, kind of like the culture coach, like just keeping the pulse of the team, but other than that, I was pleased with, I guess, that aspect of it. But certainly something else will crazy happen next week. But not a lot of big decisions to make in this game, so that will probably get harder. We'll see how that goes.
Was your lack of success on third down conversion a big thing that you're going to?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they were 9 of 12 for 75%. We were 3 of 11. I mean, the only thing that we did well was special teams. In terms of winning all the categories I look at, like the ball, they were +2, 81% win. Explosives, they were +4, that's 75% win. And that's in FBS football since 2017. So right there, we're up against it. They're 7.1 yards of play for them, 4.9 for us. Time of possession second half, I thought their OC and Casey did a really good job. They had the ball for 20 minutes. We had the ball for 9. We only had 3 drives. And then red zone, they were 3 for 3 for 21 points, and we were 2 for 4 for 10. So that differential there is hard to overcome. So, but yeah, I think third down, we couldn't get off. They had themselves in manageable situations. And then certainly, like I said, in the second half there for the offense, you get behind point differential wise, it just becomes a little bit harder. And they did a good job on defense. Credit to them for getting themselves in that position and then ultimately executing.
How much of a positive was Jay Collins' production?
It was great to see. Like I said, post game, he's been a guy that has been really, really consistent in his play through spring ball, through camp, and creating an explosive on really a 3-step type play. Broke 2 tackles, and it's just really good to see. And he was excellent on the sideline, like going over to the D, picking up the O, and those kinds of things is that matters. That'll matter, But I'm really pleased with him. Really happy for him that he gets his opportunity now and go be the guy he is.
What do you see? Have you watched Bryant tape already? What do you see?
Yeah, I am. I've been through obviously their last game on all sides of the ball, and I'm really impressed with how hard they play. Coach Merritt I've met a bunch of times over since I've actually been here, whether that's at clinics or camps and stuff, and they take on the identity of their head coach. And what I mean by that is, was a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and became a special teams captain down in Christopher Columbus. I think he won 170-something games. Probably in an area that is some of the best high school football around. And he's been there, he's established the culture, but I'm really impressed with how hard they play. This ain't gonna be easy. Like I was a Division III player that coached in 1AA at Maine, the same league that he's in, for 8 years. I was fortunate enough to beat Western Kentucky in 2018. I was at Minnesota when we lost the Bowling Green. So I've been around it, and there's no way that we will have any mindset of this being any easy task. This is going to be a good game, and they play really, really hard. I'm really impressed with that, all phases. It's a very physical game against their last one.
Sorry. On Saturday, you mentioned that you're looking for the running back room to be. You want 3 or 4 running backs in the system. Do you foresee that being kind of a committee approach or riding the hot hand? How do you see that playing out over these next?
Yeah, I think obviously Rocco's the lead dog there. And again, I mentioned that we just had to kind of get away from that a little bit because we got down so quickly. down 18, can only do so much, plus with their time of possession in the second half. But yeah, Rocco's gonna be the lead dog. I thought Hood obviously picking up the 4th and 1 conversion was good. Juwan got some touches, and then ultimately, getting Elijah. I think Elijah can be a spark plug for us. He's kind of like a dynamic kid. He's got some explosiveness that some of the other guys don't have there. I think situationally you'll see it in hopefully a game where it's closer. We have some things that we can do with each of them, but Rocco's going to be the lead dog, and we're going to ride him for as long as we can.
And then defensively, I know you mentioned you're feeling optimistic towards Iran being ready for Saturday, but whether he plays or not, who are some of the other guys in that back end of the defense that you're looking to step up?
Yeah, I think Maya's got a chance to respond. I think Mayu's got a chance to respond. I think TJ and Malcolm have to stay consistent, but I think partly on us as coaches, we get, Z goes down, Didi Snyder was out, who we'll have back this week, and Maya had to move over. So that's not the easiest task. So we got to prepare a little bit better there. I literally just saw Maya 5 minutes ago, so I'm confident in him. He came back and responded the right way. And listen, on defense, when you cut guys loose and there's miscommunication, there's nothing behind you as a secondary player. It's the end zone. Right, so the other band plays, and it's not good. So there's a little bit less room for error there. So I'm confident in how we're going to prepare and what we're going to do, and we just got to keep going. We just can't give up. We just got to keep going. But I think the corrections will be made. We did a walkthrough last night with corrections, and I feel confident that the guys understand they took ownership for it. The first slide we talked about on Sunday in the team meeting is how to respond to a loss. Right, the do's and the do nots. And ultimately it's gonna come down to the pain of ownership versus the pain of regret. But you gotta prepare the right way, you gotta take ownership for your week. We got more distractions now, we got class, right? We got the social media world going on, right? So you better step up, because it ain't gonna be an easy game with how hard they play.
Is there any added meaning to this game after a week 1 loss?
No, I told the guys last night, you went from the American Conference to the CAA, you're gonna go to the Big Ten, then you're gonna go to the SEC, then you're gonna go to that. We are in no position to take any game, not like it's the game. Like we're not. So this game is extremely important. They're a very good team. They just went on the road. It was 9-3 in the 4th quarter. They had a chance to win. They had 2 late drives there that were turnovers on downs. And like I said, they played really hard. I'm really impressed with that. That's how I want my team to look. And I know that's the credit to Coach Merritt and the staff.
How different's prep this week? Obviously, they're not defined by one game, their identity, but you have a game to watch where they probably didn't hold much back, especially when, having a chance to win. How different is the preparation this week for you guys?
Yeah, I think a little bit slightly different is that this is our first true game week. So time management from the coaches, like I said, the guys with the class schedules, getting back in here, managing that, watching the film, getting prepared. But certainly, listen, I've been on that side. I've been the quote-unquote team playing up, right? And they're going to give us everything they got. But when you watch their tape, all the games from last year and the first game this year, the identity is the identity. They're going to play really, really hard. And, I don't know if they look at it in any different way. That's another game or not. I don't know what he tells his team, but I know that we are in no position to take anybody lightly, right? And that's just a reality of what we're trying to do here. And I'll give you an analogy. When I got here, our academic culture was not good. And in those first 2 to 3 months, there was a lot of things we had to work through. You keep grinding, you keep going, you keep doing the right things, and you come out with a 3.152 GPA. So that's what I'm going to talk to the team about. You just kind of been through it. It's not on the field, and losing's not acceptable, but we'll keep doing the right things. And our sideline demeanor, how the guys have responded. There's no why me. There's no, we're not feeling like we're the same old that's been going on. So we got to step up. And we got to be men, and we got to step up. And here we go. It's college football. That's what's great about this game.
Obviously, you were spot on after the game talking about what the people would say, same old UMass, I'll just make these assumptions, and you just made a message to the students, but it was noticeable after the game that you kind of directed it, I'm just going to tell the players. Do you have any kind of message for the broader supporters about, be patient, or it's going to take some time, or anything?
Yeah,
like
I think I want to make sure that I understand why they are the way they are. I get it. I mean, if I just look at this, since moving up to FBS, there's not been a season of more than 4 wins, right? We haven't beaten an FBS team at home since 2021. We haven't beaten an FBS team since 2023. So it is game 1 of the new, hopefully the new era that's coming in, right? New roster, new coaches, and they've all heard that before. But I would ask them to just reflect on anything in their life that's been really hard to do, really hard to overcome. If you don't give up and you keep doing the right things, you'll put yourself in a position to hopefully turn the thing around. So we're trying to overcome a lot. They don't want to hear that. I'm good with that. I understand why they feel the way they feel, and they should. Losing is not acceptable. It won't be acceptable. But sometimes you gotta go through some hard stuff and really build an identity. And that starts with the culture and how our kids act. And if they act the right way and they keep playing hard, in my time doing this, since 2010 in Division I, in the Big Ten for the last 7 years, and people that I've learned from, there's gonna be hard times, you know, and I'll give you an analogy, you know. Me and my wife always don't get along. What am I, just gonna give up? And just be like, hey, I'm see you later. I have 2 daughters. When they become teenagers, we're probably gonna butt heads. We're not gonna have some good times. All right, get out of the house. Like, we gotta fight for each other, right? And I just ask them to be the light and maybe pay attention to the little things that we're talking about and see if there's a difference there between the past and what we're trying to do now. Because maybe that's different. And I don't know, I wasn't here. But I know I have extreme confidence in the people that are here. I have extreme confidence in Ryan Bamford, Kirsten, all the people that are supporting us, the chancellor. I know we talk and we speak about the right things and we got each other's back. And at the end of the day, we're not gonna fight alone anymore and we're gonna do it together. And in my time, everything I've done in my life, there's one common denominator, and that's hard work and not giving up. I would love to tell the team, hey, on this date, it is gonna happen. Because then I wouldn't have to do anything. I could just be like, hey, on this date, we're gonna flip it around and go. I don't have that answer, right? So, you know, in my life, when you don't give up and you keep grinding and you keep working hard and you believe in what you believe in and you build a culture and you establish things and you got people that support you, if we all reflect on that, usually it ends up pretty good. And I know listen, I appreciate their support. I appreciate their passion for wanting to win. I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want social media to be dead. But at the end of the day, just remember this, no one wants to win more than these players. Nobody. The emotion that these kids showed after that game, because they felt like they let me down, was something that I'll never forget. And I'll always have their back. So it's game 1 of the new era, and it wasn't acceptable, and it's not going to be. But we're gonna keep fighting, and we're not gonna give up. And we're gonna reap the benefits at some point. But I'm just really proud of our players. And I just ask them to keep being the light, keep focusing on the little things, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Coach, no sacks in week 1. You know, how do you ratchet up that pressure on the quarterback, especially with Josh out for the year?
Yeah, certainly a concern. You know, I don't think we really put ourselves, like the 1 3rd and 9 to 10ish we had, we got a sack. Chandra ended up with the sack, right? So I think you gotta put yourself in those positions. But ultimately we gotta look at some things like, you know, I heard Marcus Freeman say at halftime last night, they have the same problem with Carson Beck. So if you gotta switch it up and bring 5, bring 6, we gotta look at that if that's another issue moving forward in the beginning of this game. I think we can do some things better with some of our rush details, but certainly we're gonna have to find a way to pressure the quarterback, but I ultimately think that comes down to being better on 1st and 2nd down. You know, as I look at the 3rd down, so it was just a lot of great situations for them, not so great for us, but certainly we gotta get after that for sure.
So who's gonna be the backup quarterback on Saturday's game?
Yeah, I think we make that evaluation kind of as we move through the week. Obviously Grant got in at the end there, but both guys will be ready, and I think both guys honestly have done a great job throughout the week during practice and taking those reps to the backup. So we'll kind of see how that goes during the week, but we want those guys to be in a constant battle for that, but I feel comfortable with either one of them going in.
So neither one. So there's
No, it could be either one, correct.
What do you think Brandon has to improve on next week, kind of trying to extend the offense's scoring success?
Yeah, I think just taking care of the ball starts there. You know, I think obviously he's responsible for both of those turnovers. And then just, listen, like I said, on that first down, first and goal there, before he threw the interception, just understand it's first down. We're in a situation where we're going to go for it regardless. We're down, right? So just taking care of the ball. But I thought his decision-making overall was pretty good. Like I said, he made some big-time throws, and now we just got to keep connecting and keep building drives.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.